Hello, YouTube. The weekend is over and tomorrow is Monday morning. That fast. I pray that the week go by quick, because the week need to be 4 days. Now I see what everybody be talking about. Sometimes, when you work a 9 to 5, sometimes time be dragging. I just be praying for fast days. But briefly, I wanted to talk about Ashanti's character in Coach Carter. And her character started off negative, but it ended up on a positive note. And I wanted to talk to my young men. Talk to y'all. If a girl you're dating, right? If she does not have goals, it's time to drop her like a case of AIDS. Do you hear me? Okay? When I was young and I was in high school and stuff, my parents didn't really have to teach me, but I knew for myself, if somebody didn't have goals, I would drop them. If somebody wasn't doing anything with their life, failing classes, I would drop you as a friend. I was dead ass serious. Like, you could not, especially like post high school, you gotta be doing something with your life. There's no excuse to just not do nothing. And this girl did not have a plan. She was pregnant, and so he got a 3.3 GPA. He playing ball. He like, yo, okay, so you pregnant, what's your plan? He's like, oh, so you're gonna go to the local college? You're gonna go to junior college? She's like, I don't know. He's like, are you gonna go to work? She's like, I don't know. If somebody is talking like that, you have to reconsider your relationship, because you may think, oh, you're young and this and that. No, you need to be with somebody with goals, and I can't stress that enough. And in the end, she got to her senses, and he was smart too, because he had a full scholarship, and he had told them his situation, and they actually was going to help him with his Ashanti and the baby, but she chose to have an abortion because she thought about what he said. Now, I'm not condoning an abortion, but what I am saying is that he had a goal in mind, and that was not the right time. So to my young men, if you have a girl trying to pressure you and having a baby, she's not the one. And I like the way it ended, because she was like, I want you to reach your goals, and that's real. Any woman of any age, but especially you going on to college and that's what you want to do, and your girlfriend knows that that's your heart's desire, but she's selfish and she want to have a baby and this and that, that's not the one for you. A real good woman, she's going to push you to pursue your goals. That's just like even with my young men. If you're in your 20s and you get with a girl and you tell her, oh, I gave up my scholarship and stuff, and she doesn't encourage you to go back to school, that's not the one for you either. That's not the one for you either. Some of these women, they want a handout. And I think I spoke about this. With my son, I told him, if you going out on a date with a girl, if you buying the tickets, she better buy the popcorn. Do not sit there and be, no, don't be used. Because at the end of the day, if a woman was to take care of a man, what would we call her? Desperate, right? So the same rule applies. If a man, he going away to school and he got things going for himself, why should he be with a girl that just want to lay on her back? Amen. So I wanted to I can't stress that enough. I'm happy that it ended on a positive note. And even better, he said to her, I want you to come with me. I'm going to school, and I want you to come with me. And I can't stress that enough. When you're in high school, I didn't necessarily have a high school sweetheart. I had a little boyfriend, but it was nothing serious. But it's important to have goals. It's important to, and if the person doesn't want to go to college, what's their backup plan? Do they want to open up a business? Do they want to cut hair? Do they want to do hair if they're female? Do they want to do wigs, tracks, something? You got to not know, oh, I want to be a rapper. That is not a goal. Absolutely not. Moesha, the father was very upset, because it's like, your father owns a business and you cut hair, so why not go to get your barber license? What's wrong with that? This nigga say, oh yeah, I want to be a rapper. So of course Frank Mitchell was like, what? Moesha's going to college. And then he made a joke, oh, I'm gonna visit her. Listen, now in Moesha he became successful. Of course that's a TV show, but do not be dating no guy that talking about something he want to be a rapper. Absolutely not. You shouldn't even have relations with a man that's like that. I learned that the hard way. You know, even though in your mind you saying I ain't gonna be with him, don't sleep with him either, because who you sleep with is who you are. Even if you think it's a 1-2 time thing, if you feel like that person is beneath you, you shouldn't even be sharing nothing with them, sex, nothing. So I just wanted to say that, you know, I wish somebody would have told me that, like, yeah, it's not just you don't want to date them, shouldn't sleep with them either. If they not doing nothing positive in life, you shouldn't even lay down with them, not even 1 or 2 times. You think it's just 1 or 2 times, you move on with life. No, you shouldn't associate yourself with that person at all, you know. And you could kind of, sometimes looks are deceiving, but when you talking to somebody, you can tell if somebody is not about nothing, you know, because all they're going to do is bring you down. That's all they're going to do. So I wanted to speak on it, and to my ladies, but especially my young men, be careful who you choose, because you could be choosing a wife that's going to help you out in life, or paying a lifetime of child support. And those are my thoughts.